do Argentinians hold against Messi that he never actually won a title with the team then?
I think I mean, again, I think there's a media fed narrative that is, he still owes us something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think if you stop people randomly in the street, they would be more proud and delighted by his existence than angry that he didn't win a World Cup. It helped to reach a final in 2014. That was great. That was very good. And then I think Russia to 2018, Argentina, the whole football scene was a shambles. It wasn't just Messi or the team or the squad. It was the entire industry was complete breaking point. And ultimately, I think most people were just very disappointed in football, and no one was finding that escape. Again, interviewing the 1986 players, a concept they draw back to over and over is bringing joy to the people. We were just happy that we played for the people, we brought them joy, we made them happy. And I think the 1978 World Cup is particularly kind of remembered for that, because it was such a difficult, dark time here. And then there was this moment of joy. Mm-hmm. And I think, I doubt very much, generally, Argentinians wouldn't say that Messi hasn't brought us joy. I think he absolutely has. So whether you want to win a cup for extra joy, yeah, sure, everybody loves winning. Everybody loves winning. But if it's good, if the football's good, like it was in 2014 or 2006, even 2010, you can carry the crowd with you. There's something to enjoy, even if there's an injustice or something to complain about, or everyone can partake and say, well, you shouldn't have done him on the left, him on the back. Why did you put him on? Messi needed somebody else. What was that? And that's part and parcel of the process. Everyone is a participative agent, if you like, in the discussion of what football is doing for us as a society. But ultimately, the experience of 2018 was just no joy for anybody. Nobody cared. It was horrible. It was full of rumors. It was bad, and you could really sense that. It was like, oh well, we don't love this anymore, and there was no joy.
Has that changed at all since 2018? Is that the sort of connection?
Well, it's difficult because 2020 has been particularly hard, hasn't it? So it's difficult to say. We'll see. We'll have to see. I think, I mean, I think it'd be interesting to watch Messi over the next year and a half, see if he has another World Cup in him and what happens. And again, just to close off on the point of the kind of pandemic time where there was no football, and it was imaginable that everybody could die, including Maradona. We just have to see whether there is a post-pandemic time where crowds go back to the stadiums, games are played fluidly, and there is a World Cup, and maybe Messi will shine in such a scenario, or maybe he'll just grow into a quite old man that has a lovely, restful life away from the limelight. Who knows? Anything's possible.
You mentioned in the chapter when you interviewed Messi that you'd asked him about his sort of competitiveness, and whether he sort of, as he'd grown older, managed to sort of manage that competitive instinct. And I'm just
can't.
And it doesn't. No, not at all. But I'm just kind of I wonder, like, is this sort of, because I do remember in particular from the 2018 World Cup seeing the teams come out for the France-Argentina game, and the camera focuses on Messi's face, and he looks absolutely like that he would rather be, anywhere else on earth. And I just kind of wonder whether this sort of like pressure or sort of this weight that you see him, and maybe it's just perspective that maybe you don't quite see that he feels when he's with Barcelona, whether that's purely self-imposed weight, or whether that sort of comes from the outside, sort of both the legacy of Maradona and that kind of thing.
I doubt the legacy of Maradona weighs on him that much. I really think that is a media construct. I mean, I don't know, but they're so different in every way. I think, I don't know. I mean, we learned that he had these terrible nausea and vomiting, kind of almost stage fright reactions before playing international games fairly recently. Well, 2014, and that was kind of, oh, does that happen to him? But again, Marta Argerich is one of the best pianists in the world and in living memory, who's also an Argentinian who lives in Europe. She gets terrible stage fright to the point that she sometimes runs away and just goes, I'm not coming on. And then they have to give people their money back for the tickets. I mean, she's been doing it for 30 odd years. She just goes, I can't play, and just doesn't. So, a great artist has that. I don't know if it's self-inflicted or somebody else's fault or whatever. Clearly Messi has it. And I've heard less about it in Barcelona than with the national team. But I suspect the pressure of playing for Argentina is much bigger, and the World Cup is a much bigger stage, and the command of the world attention is almost absolute as the tournament progresses. So if you're out early, then the group stages aren't as full of tension as a final. I mean, the final, is everyone on the planet watches it. It's extraordinary.
But this wasn't also an exclusive World Cup thing. Like I remember the shootout against Chile when 2016 after he misses and he's off to the side and it's absolute distraught. So it seems there is something there.
He definitely he retired then. He actually quit. Yes. No, I think there's a point at which he's had enough. I mean, that was interesting because he had been very outspoken about the bad organization and the mess that was the Argentine Football Association, and unusually for him, he had been critiquing the bits that aren't football quite vehemently. But I don't. I mean, is your question whether that's comes from him or whether it's pressure from the people, or I think it comes from him. But I think he's a genuinely, he's genuinely a talented guy who wants to conduct his talent in the best possible circumstances. And if the circumstances aren't right, he will say so. But obviously, that it's a different personality to Maradona. So Maradona would create a massive scandal. He'd, storm into meetings. He'd coordinate a world movement of players and then fizzle into nothing. But he would be like, it's all out. Well, Messi's clearly quite reserved, possibly, a little bit on the spectrum. He's pathologically shy. He finds it very difficult to talk. It's just different personalities, but clearly he is superbly gifted and completely aware of that. He doesn't not know that he's the best in the world or one of the 5 best in the world, which is really, really important. And also willing to say his bit. And I think in a way, an interesting version of this is playing out with Barcelona now, from a few months back to now. And again, I think we should watch that space because it's quite a fascinating progression from player to something, whether he'll become involved in running the club or move to another club or what could happen.
Do you think there's a chance he'll come back to Argentina and finish his career there, or do you think it'll be, who knows?
I would be very surprised if he did that. I think he would find that very difficult personally, but who knows? Who knows? I can imagine him more being involved in Barcelona at a different level than player than I can in Argentina. Who knows? But I mean, that's a complete guess. I wouldn't. but I do think he's got some playing time left, and I'm interested to see what he does with it. And I think he was very keen to move, and they really did thought that, much in the way that the Hollywood studios used to do that to the big stars in the 30s. You know, you just tie them down and say, you either work for us or don't work at all. Yeah. And that was quite difficult to witness with Messi. It just felt wrong, like from another time and from another.
Yeah. Like you say, I feel like the situation would have, like the differences in sort of personality types between Messi and Maradona, how that situation last summer would have played out with a less sort of introverted character at the center of it.